welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Luann Sophie. It's been a minute, guys. I've really missed YouTube, but I've just been so busy. It's just been a crazy time, but I am back. I am back, and today I'm just going to be bringing you something a little bit different. Some of you may know, some of you may not know, but as well as a marketer, mom, I am also an MUA. I have had training, worked on various different makeup counters, and makeup is one of my passions. I fell out of love with makeup for a very long time, but I have really grown to love it again, I'd say. But today I am going to be doing something that I've been asked about a lot. Over the years, people have always said to me, Luann, how do you do your eyeshadow? So today I'm going to be showing you an in-depth tutorial on how you can complete a brown smoky look. Now, brown smokies are just perfect because once you understand the techniques that I'm about to show you, you can just apply them to any colour palette. You'll also have a look that you can just use all the time. Brown smokies, whether you're going for a meal, whether you're going to the cinema, whether you're chilling, they are just the adaptable, perfect, universal look, and every girl needs to know how to do a brown smoky. So that's what I'm going to be showing you today. So I'm going to go straight in today, and we are going to break down how to do an eyeshadow look in 5 steps. And the 5 steps go as follows. Number 1, you're basing your primer. Number 2, your medium base shade. Number 3, your transition shade. Number 4, your crease shade. And number 5, your highlight. So let's do that again. 5 steps. Number 1, you're basing your primer. Number 2, your medium base shade. Number 3, your transition shade. Number 4, your crease shade. And number 5, your highlight. So that is the 5 key steps on how you can create your eyeshadow look. Now, what I'm going to show you is the brushes that you need if you want to be an eyeshadow boss. Of all, this is my favorite eyeshadow brush, and it is the 228 Luxe Crease Zoeva brush. You need this brush in your life because it really will give you that perfect blend. It's light and fluffy, so you can wash them and dry them really quickly. It is just the best. I've probably got about 5 of them. So you need that, the 228. You also need the Zoeva 227 Luxe Crease brush. Now this is going to do the blending, but it's also going to give you the colour pop as well. So yeah, you need this brush. And the third brush you need is the Zoeva 224 Luxe Defined Crease. This brush is amazing. So as you can see, it's slightly thinner, it's a tapered brush, and that is for the bigger colours and the darker colours that we're going to use, just if you want to get that application just right. But I'm going to show you exactly how and where you need to use these 3 brushes. Before we go into step number 1, I am going to carve out my brows just using a Kiko concealer brush, and that's what you need, just a plain flat brush, and this will help you for your base as well. So I have finished carving out my brows. We are now going to do step number 1, which is our base and priming our lid. Now, I'm going to be using the same shade that I've just used to carve out my brow, and that is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer in the shade 290. Now, as you can see, that is substantially lighter than my skin tone, and that's what you have to do. You need to go about 4 to 5 shades lighter just to base your lid, just because it allows the colour to pop a bit more when you actually highlight your eye area. I'm going to take a flat brush. This is a P. Louise brush. If you don't have one of these, that's absolutely fine. Sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I use a blending brush, but it's all about the technique. And the technique that I'm about to show you is called the pat 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 method, and it is about patting the product into your skin to prime and prep that eyelid area. I'm going to press on and just pat it in. Pat it all the way in, going all the way up to that line that I've just created. And just take your time. This step is so important because it's gonna set the scene for the rest of your shadow. So this part, I always say to my clients, this part takes the longest. So just take your time, And as you can see, I'm just doing that patting motion ever so lightly, pat, 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 working that into the skin. However, I cannot take credit for this method because I've been saying it a lot. I actually had training at P. Louise and this is the method that they taught me. As you can see, I haven't even used that much product. It's just all about the technique. This technique, game changer. So this eye is complete. I'm now going to do the same with the other eye. So again, straight up to that brow bone, ever so slowly, and that line that we've just carved out, and pat, 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 pat. As you can see, I have based my lid using my concealer, and now I'm going to just set it using some Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'm using a brush because I use a brush for everything, but you can just use a blending sponge. Like, it's not essential. You can even dab it on your finger. So my eyes are now set and primed, and that is number one, complete. It's so important that you do this properly because this is going to act as the glue and all of your pigments are going to stick to this base. So remember to take your time and just make sure that you get all the coverage that you need and you do it properly. We are now on step number 2, and that is our medium and our base shade. Now in this instance, we're going to be doing a brown smoky. So we need to find a medium brown shade that we can just blend all over the eyelid. So I'm going to show you and use my favourite brown. So I'm going to take the shade Fling from my P. Louise palette. I'm not even sure what this palette is called, but I know it was one of her first ones. So yeah, Fling. As you can see, I've used the life out of this shade, but there's just no other brown that does it the way this one does it for me. Fling, take my Zoeva 228 brush, and we're going to blend this all over our lid for our base shade. So you only need a small bit of product. The key to eyeshadow is not overloading your eye. You need to build the product on slowly and lightly. And I'm going to teach you a technique called dump and blend. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that Fling and we're going to dump it into our crease area. And we're going to blend it out. And the blend, the key to blending is the motion. Circular motions. I'm going to blend that outwards in circular motions. So as you can see, we've got a nice light shade of brown coming along all over the lid, but I'm going to keep building on this product. Now I'm taking it all the way up to my brow bone just because my eyes are really small, so I like to make my eyes appear bigger and fuller. But what you need to do is work to your work to your eye shape. I'm also sweeping this forward so that when I complete my full face and do my nose contour, I've already started that line down my nose bridge. So that is my base shade complete on this eye. Now as you can see, it's just a nice smooth blend of colour, and that is what we want. Simple, smooth, not too thick. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on this eye. As I have said, guys, the key to blending is those circular motions, and as you can see, the grip that I've got on the brush, it's literally as if you are painting, and you want that loose grip so that you can literally do this and you are literally just working it in really light circular motions. So give yourself a pat on the back, because if you wanted to, given that I put like some more shadow in this section, you could literally go out like this, which is why once you've got the technique, you've got it. That is all you need. But we're going to carry on and we're going to go in with our next shade, and that is step number 3, our transition shade. So what we're going to do is take a darker shade than the one that we've just used. So I'm going to go in with a darker brown. This time it is from the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. Now I absolutely, see this, I love this palette. They are a bit more on the expensive side, but they're just really good value for money. They last really long. They're so pigmented. As you can see, I've enjoyed. I'm due a new one, to be honest. but we're going to be using the shade Amber from this. We're going to be going in using Amber with our 227 Zoeva Luxe Definer. Just going to dip a small amount of product on, and we're going to again dump it in that corner and blend outwards. But we're not going to take it as high as we took the previous shade. So as you can see, I'm stopping in this section just because we want to give that graduated effect of colour. And again, those circular motions. I'm going to sweep it forward. I'm doing the same again on the other eye, dumping it in that corner and just blending it outwards. But again, not taking it as high as I've taken the previous shade. Now, this is why, back to 228, this brush is so good, because if you can see, there's two kind of separations, there's two lines of colour here, and we don't want that. We want it blended in, so that's why you go back in with your 228 and you just blend that line. As you can see now, that's a lot smoother. There's no harshness to it. It's all about that blend. All about your blend, ladies. All about your blend. Now we are going to go in with our crease shade. So we are on step number 4. Not long now. Hang in there and you're going to have a bomb brown smoky. Okay, so for this shade in our crease, we're going to be using Oud, which is the darkest shade, and for the darkest shade we're going to take our smallest brush, which is our 224 Zoeva Luxe Defined Crease, and this does what it says on the tin. It defines your crease. So we're going to just dump that into the Oud here. That is the shade that we're going to be using. As you can see, use the life out of that again, but I am literally showing you guys my go-to look. We're going to dump that in the crease here, and we're going to just define our crease. We're going to work it outwards ever so slightly, but we're going to stop because we don't want it crossing over with the other colours. So you just dump it ever so slightly and you blend it out. As you can see, I'm barely putting any pressure on. Such a small amount of pressure is needed, and the darker the colour is, the less pressure that you need, because obviously the pigment's stronger. So there I am, just dumping it into my crease, working it outwards and inwards in those circular motions. I'm going to take it slightly in just to tape on my eyes. So we're going to take it just about a quarter of the way into our eyelid. So guys, we are almost complete. What I'm going to be doing now is the 5th step, and that is highlighting my middle lid section. Now I'm going to be using a different shadow. I've purposely shown you different shadows just because, as I said, this is my go-to look. But what you need to do is find what works for you. As I said, you can change the colours, you can change the brand, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go with my highlighting colour, and that is the Illamasqua Bronx eyeshadow, and it's like a lovely gold. It's just lovely, it's just beautiful. If I can get it open. So this is again one of my favorites, and it's just so creamy and pigmented, and that's what you want, something kind of creamy. So even when I put it on my finger, as you can see the shimmer on it, and this is why I say you don't need another brush, because if you get a nice creamy gold shade, you can just literally dab it on your eyelid, which is what I'm going to do for this video. I'm just going to dab it on with my finger. The thing is, guys, just because I'm using like Illamasqua, Huda Beauty, you don't have to do that. Like, I think I'm actually going to have to do a tutorial where I do the same look using like a cheap palette. Bringing it all together with my baby 228 and just blending that all around. So guys, this is the brown smoky completed. We have completed our 5 steps, and I know you're probably a bit like, that's underwhelming, but it's because I haven't put a lash on yet. Lashes are what you need to really make your eyeshadow pop. That is going to seal the deal. So I'm going to pop some lashes on off camera and come back to show you the finished look. This is the complete brown smoky look. This, as I said, such a go-to, my go-to. You can do this anywhere, change the colours, find what works for you. I'm definitely going to be doing some more eyeshadow tutorials, but I'm also going to be finishing my face doing a soft glam. So watch the next video to see how I finish my face. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and don't forget to hit like as well. Bye!